Shell safe, no
No.
stats, nothing really good on it.
All right, there we go. Now I think they can finally hear us. Welcome everybody.
Yeah, welcome everybody. I was gonna say, I guess we'll start over from the beginning. So my name is Classy Badger, and I have my co-commentator with me tonight.
Japan Maniac, how you guys doing?
So we'll kind of catch up. We were just mentioning, it looks like that all four of our runners are doing the pretty standard starts for a Lock Go-Go. That they're all going to go straight away into the same...
Yeah, World of Ruin Narsh. They found a Palador Esper, which did not have anything worth looking. And looks like a 18 fight Curse Shield.
Yeah, not too bad. I don't think a lot of people are going to try to go for it, though. That is still quite a few fights you'd have to do.
Yeah, getting it right off the bat helps, but you probably need a ribbon or something to negate some of those early status ailments.
Yeah, those can definitely hurt. And it looks like now we're going to see Dark Falls going into Phoenix Cave, which is where a lot of runners are going to go next first, or over to Gogo's check would be the other period one. But yep, it looks like both Rulith and Dark Falls are going to go to that.
Yeah, both checks are don't have a boss associated with them, so they're pretty free. Phoenix Cave has a little bit more treasure, I would say, and not as many annoying collapsing ceilings, but...
Yeah. No, the Go-Go check definitely can eat up a lot of time just because of those random guys who walk back and forth can just be jerks and just not move and stay there anywhere the whole time. Or B, they can... you can get crushed by the crushing ceiling. And it does look like we now have the Opia or the streaming fixed up for it, so we can see Nidorufic and Zelfer as well. So everything looks to be good shape now. So
I was pretty surprised with the in sync racing for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, like this kind of scene, you can definitely see that from times, just because you only have a few checks, and there's really only kind of two that you're going to do right away. But yeah, it was just a little too much of a coincidence there. But we got it all fixed.
Yeah.
So it looks like, yeah, we got almost everybody going to Phoenix Cave, although Zelfer and Nidorufic did actually go to Gogo's check.
Yeah, so we got a pretty split decision-making here, but let's hope... Alright, both make it through the collapsing ceiling at least once. I don't think either have a easy way out of the cave, so they'll probably have to go through it again.
Yep, I mean, even some of the most experienced runners I've seen will get crushed by the collapsing roof, just because you get so used to it, you think, if I do my route perfectly, I am able to make it in this amount of time. Just get a little bit greedy or you'll miss up. And it looks like we found an old man hiding in Gogo's cave, so that does open up a few more checks.
Yep. And it looks like there was a warp stone at some point in time picked up.
Yeah, there it is for Nidorufic. So that actually is going to be perfect for finding in Gogo. That's like one of the best things you can find there is you can just warp stone out. Because no one likes doing this. I'm actually surprised that Nidorufic isn't warp stoning out, that he's actually going through this. Even though he just picked it up. So he might have just either doesn't realize he can warp stone out or kind of just slipped his mind.
Yeah. I mean, there's other applications for it. If you find Shadow and stuff like that, there's some places you can warp out of his thing, so we'll see. And Phoenix Cave, looks like we're about to find out what the reward is for that. Ooh, nice. Dark Fowl's tempting fate here, and he thinks better of it.
Yeah, there's quite a few things where you're just like, I'm not going to risk it. Yeah, so let's see. Pretty soon we should be seeing what we're going to get out of Phoenix Cave. This is a pretty closed off start to a race. We would expect. And there's Cyan. So yeah, this is
just opened up. Cyan has a lot of good checks.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see because Cyan has a lot of good checks, and where Strago does not, unfortunately. Strago really only has the Burning House, Elbeth's Rock. I mean, nobody wants to do Magister's Tower or Fanatic's Tower just because it's abysmal.
Yeah, I would
Um,
argue few people want to do Ebbett's Rock as well, but
yeah, Ebbets Rock, like, it's just the one boss fight. It's just finding all those coral that you have to hunt and hunt and hunt for. Um, that takes a lot of time.
oh, we have the forest merchant check. We'll see how much. Did anyone catch how much it costs?
Yeah, I did not. I didn't get to see what Esper he picked up either. Um, I am surprised. I guess because of how this, the two characters we got. Yeah, everybody went right away to the World of Ruin. This is one of the few times where I'm surprised nobody went with Locks to go check Magitech armor to just get a few levels and see what's there. But I guess all the free checks are on the World of Ruin side this time.
Yeah.
Looks
No.
like Dark. Oh, go ahead.
No.
Dark Falls. I'm trying to look to see where he is heading over to.
Yeah, it kind of looks like he just parked the ship in a random desert somewhere. Oh,
Yeah,
he's going to the go-go check. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, it's hard to sometimes tell just by looking at what random continent you're floating over currently. So, okay, so yeah, if he'll get that check, he'll find his go-go down there. He has a Scion already, so he'll find his Strigo down there, sorry. So that seed should be opening up a lot for everybody. Zelfer's making his dive into Phoenix Cave. Nidorific, I assume, would probably be heading over that way soon, but it looks like he's in World of Balance, so he might be going to Magitech armor.
Looks like he's gonna go check Figaro Castle. We'll get back to that strategy in a bit.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe he's just checking shops or...
That's true.
Or I think you can at least see what is on the throne beforehand. Looks like he's just gonna go do some shopping. Just doing some early chest checks to see what's out there.
Oh, Dark Files got pushed off the ledge, and we have Locke trying to steal from the Zone Eater.
Yeah, now we basically have a flip of what the two sides have done. Now we have Zelfer doing Phoenix Cave and Dark Files and Drulith now doing Go-Go. So neither one of the people who has Scion have decided to check any of theirs, either of Scion's checks just yet, which I'm kind of surprised. I thought somebody would have gone possibly to Doma Castle.
Yeah, that's
first
a quick
see.
boss check. Yeah, I mean, maybe you want a couple more relics or pieces of equipment, but yeah, I mean the Scion check is pretty good. If you got a free boss there, then that's a real quick Esper character.
I think Nidorific does just right now doing a bunch of checks to see for just trying to find some extra finds a mystery veil actually out the Mount Colt's house. Not a check that you really see people take too often, just because it's only the one check there. But if you're just hunting for gear, which it looks like was what he's doing, just to try to get as much as he can before he starts going into his first boss fights.
Yeah, you know, he's a new runner. Maybe he's just trying to do some things the other runners might not be doing, see if he can get a leg up on them.
Yeah, that's something sometimes you have to do. If you are a new runner and you're going up some people who you know have more racing experience, sometimes you got to think about, like, okay, is there a possibility I can find some better equipment that will really help catapult me ahead in the seed? Or is there maybe some checks that a lot of people might not do that gives me better progression routes than others? Especially Worlds Collide is a little bit different in the sense that since we don't have like specific items that unlocks areas, it's the characters that we do some locks. Like if you were to find like at the top of Fnatic's tower, for example, Celeste or a Terra, especially like someone like a Terra up there, and nobody else finds Terra, that could be quite huge. And actually we see Drulith doing that right now, just checking to see who is at Fnatic's tower, and it looks like it's just a Kappa. So either an item or an Esper. Probably not worth your time making that trip.
Yeah, especially not right now at these levels.
Especially with nobody who has natural magic or anything like that, or you probably have not gotten any magic off your Espers just yet. Yeah, you're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
All right, looks like 3 of our runners have Scion, or teams of 4 people. And we have a Mount Zozo check with Drulith.
Yep, and it looks like Dark Falls is going to be just going into South Figaro to kind of get all those extra checks right that are around there. it looks like currently that Nidorific is doing the same thing, just getting all those checks. And this is another really common place that a lot of runners will go to in the beginning. Just because even if you don't have Celeste, there is so many item checks that are in here that it's just too good to pass up.
Yeah, it's so dense with treasure, and you need something to sell, right? Because you have, like I said, the Forest Merchant selling the Esper or item that comes out of him, and
Exactly.
you see an offering for sale, and you want to pick that up. Well,
Yep. And offering is kind of, yeah, if you find an offering or see, that's kind of one of the big pieces of equipment we're looking for, which is also a reason why you will see a lot of people check like stores, weapon vendors, things like that, because they're looking for stuff like some Ragnaroks, Illuminas, or a big one, Excaliburs, anything that's really kind of high powered like that. Can really just make the seed much more manageable. And we find Sabin at the top of Mount Zoe. So this seed has really exploded open because Sabin has quite a few checks on him.
yeah, they are just there's a lot of things to do now. And getting back to the other point, as Dark Fowls did, just picking up Magus hats is also just really, really good. I mean, the Magus hat doesn't seem like a great item, but one of the few ways to boost your magic item at the helmet position. And so, you don't want to have to come back to these shops to try to purchase these items. You want to buy them when you have the opportunity to the first time.
Yeah, Worlds Collide or Final Fantasy VI in general is definitely very different in the fact that, like, if you compare it to like a Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy V, where there was a lot of armor equipment that provided a lot of fast stat boots to it, where with 6, like with the idea, because you have the Espers that are normally going to give you the stat boost you need, equipment normally does not provide as much stats to it.
Yeah, and so when you find something like that, just you want to be able to pick it up.
Yeah, especially with how powerful magic is in 6, anything that can push it over the top is better. So yeah, now Drulith should have a lot of checks to go to. Sabin is tied for the most highest checks in the game, along with Terra at 5 total checks that he unlocks. So this opens up I'm trying to remember all of them: Phantom Train, the Collapsing House, the Barren Falls. So finds Dirt Dragon. So yeah, he's gonna reset out of that. Doesn't want that fight right now.
Yeah, I was surprised he opened the chest to release it, but we
Yeah.
have Zelfer in Sen doing Sabin's free check.
Yep, that's kind of one of those quickies he wants to do. There's quite a few item checks in here as well, where you see him picking up his Zarina ring. That you kind of just do these because I think it's total about 5 or 6 that are not monster trapped. So it's one of those, just go pick them up, get all that gear that's out of there. It's kind of a very awkward thing to say, yes, I'm going to go rescue your son from the collapsing house, but along the way, I'm just going to rob you as I walk out. But we
It's
see
like,
that's
look,
yeah.
I guarantee you I have 6 minutes to do this. Just let me see what's in there, and then I'll get them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those, like, 6 minutes, plenty of time for me to get every valuable possession out of your house and your kid.
I mean, you don't want to be poor after this house collapses. I'm not going to give you any of this stuff, but yeah,
Yeah. Why let these beautiful rings and everything go to waste? So we'll have to see what Zelfer's going to get off of this. So it's either going to be an item or an Esper, based off of the Imperial Soldier sprite.
Yeah, Dark Fowl's going to do the Doma check, and terrible.
Zelfer finds the Merit Award, which can actually be with the right gear, can actually be very strong. So I'll have to see if he's able to make some use out of that. And we see Drulith doing that same check as well. And like you mentioned, Darkfall's going on to the Doma Castle, where he finds Tritalk. Ugh.
Yeah, that's not very good at this point in time. Yeah, resets out of it.
I cannot blame him.
Yeah, I would have to find quite a few Minervas to want to merit receiving a merit award as a good thing, but yeah.
So far, so we know Doma Castle, probably not going to check that one. So we've already done Mount Zozo. So I don't think too many people are going to go right away into Cyan's Dream. Right now, so it looks like Dark Fowls is going to go do Locke's Magitech, or Magi Armored Tunnel check. So we'll see what we get out of that with Drulith, like we said, doing the Collapsing House right now. Looks like Nidorific is still doing a lot of shopping. So hopefully pretty soon we'll start seeing him do some checks, hopefully catch up with the rest of the group.
Oh, find some thunder rods. Zelfer does. And ice rods. Oh, this is a fantastic shop.
I think there was also chat saying a Ragnarok was in there as well, which is another piece of equipment. You will run that all the way up until Kefka's Tower. So it looks like Dark Fox is going to start doing trying to cleanse that cursed shield.
Yeah, I mean, you get it early enough, and you at least want to try.
Yeah, and thankfully, like, you do have some characters that have good, like, auto encounter fights, so you're not having to do random encounters. We've got Strago with the Burning House, where you can go do some of the fire. Hopefully you can get a decent mob set out of the Burning House, but that's one way you can quickly get through the Cursed Shield. You've also got the Barren Falls, where you have some fights that you're going to have to do, so...
Yikes! Doomgaze and a quick reset out of that. We got a couple of tough bosses here and there.
Yeah, definitely not finding the people you want to see early on in any of these seeds. So it'll be interesting to see. So okay, like, what's the next route that you go?
Yeah, I mean, you know, and like you said, you know, you might want to take a dive into Cyan's Dream. Maybe the first two bosses aren't that bad. You get a couple quick checks, you know, a freebie or something, and you know that's pretty dense when it comes to espers or potential party members that you can get.
Yep. And like Mystery's saying in chat, yeah, Cyan is a great character. He'll probably be one of your final four going into the Kefka fight, but eventually, yeah, you just gotta hold your breath, dive in. But actually, it looks like Dark Files is gonna go do the Burning House. So we'll get to see what's in there. So this is probably where he's going to possibly try to get some of his fights done. Also for decursing that curse shield.
Yeah. Zelfer's headed to the Imperial camp. And
there.
I did not see what the Esper cost in World of Balance to send. Did he pick it up?
I did not get the chance to see either.
Okay.
Yeah, with 4 streamers, you're trying to dart around and see everything as fast as you can, but they hit that A button so fast, and sometimes they don't ever check it. You're just like, alright, well, do the best we can. And it looks like Drulith is also going to the Imperial camp as well. Looks like Nidorific still doing some shopping. He's found quite a few good things in there. He's got 13 fire rods, so those should definitely help carry him through some of this. Has quite a good chunk of equipment there as well. So yeah. I think he might be just trying to get all of his shopping done before he really starts diving in thing. Now
it looks like a hero ring and a wing edge, so
yeah, definitely some good stuff in there. And it looks like a big guard on Strago, which not the I mean, if that's the only good one he has, it is a very good one of his good ones, but it's like, okay, is it worth bringing him along? Realistically, you're every time you get Strago, you're crossing your fingers for the Grand Train, because that's really the only one you want to see.
Yeah. Looks like we have the screen hero in Umaru at the Imperial camp, so...
Yeah, there's quite a few people in the Worlds Collide Discord who champion Umaru, but sadly Normie doesn't get too much love.
Excellent starting character, and you know, can carry you pretty far, but he's not so great at the later part of the stages.
Exactly. Yeah, he's gonna be a Master Pug. Yep, yeah. We're gonna reset out.
Drulith checking the trap chests, I guess.
Yeah, and Master Pug is the worst person to see in a trap chest.
Darkfowl's finding a pretty good fight early on to start uncursing that shield, actually.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if he tries to get just all 18 fights done here, and get some good just kind of leveling out of it. And we also see Nidorific is doing the same Burning House check, and it looks like also has the Curse Shield on the Strago, which is pretty good because the worst thing that you're gonna have happen is the person who's carrying the Curse Shield also be someone who can hit your team fairly hard. And thankfully, the old man doesn't hit too hard.
Yeah. and this will actually provide them some pretty decent experience without much repercussions when it comes to the abilities that these bloom shells have.
Yep, and unfortunately, like this is one that you normally don't want to do this seat or this check too early, just because that is some valuable experience that you'd like to have once you have an Esper or two, that you can really get those stat boosts going. But unfortunately, if this is kind of one of your last checks that you have to do to find some progression, you kind of just got to bite the bullet and say, okay, well, I'll get some really high levels in. So the number on the curse shield is 18. So definitely kind of on the higher end, but not insanely high. But it is going to take some a little bit of time to decurse it off. Yep, it is definitely doable.
Yeah.
Looks like Drulith is going back to the Amaru check. So he'll probably do that. Once you get Amaru, it's not too uncommon to just go do the Amaru check, do the Tritok check right away. Looks like, Zombone and the Ings for that check, which pretty easy to take care of, so...
Yeah, just a bunch of Phoenix Downs or Revivifies and get yourself some decent experience.
Exactly. It looks like Zelfer is actually trying to take down Tritok at the Doma Castle as well. And yeah, in the Burning House, it looks like it's just a lot of Peepers and Gloom Shells. So this is actually a great place to decurse that shield, because those Peeper fights are just super quick and easy. So you're hoping you see those over and over.
Yeah, they literally takes care of itself.
Yeah, so yeah, if you could just find 18 Peepers, just get those 18 fights done, and then you're working your way up to the Paladin shield that's going to really carry you.
Yeah, I think Dark Vows has trump cards, I believe, or...
He may. I think you might have found them somewhere.
Nice. Another... That should help him out pretty early.
Yep, and then the rest of our runners looks like everybody's just kind of in checks that have just forced encounters right now. We got Dark Fowls and Nidorific doing the Burning House check. We've got Drulith doing the Imperial Camp check. Zelfer, he is in between checks right now, so we'll have to see which way he is looking to go with things. But Drulith making quick work of these encounters, just using all the rods that he was able to find.
Yeah, definitely a bonus.
But yeah, so we'll have to see, because we're kind of getting to a little bit of a bottleneck again. This seed has really kind of been like, we got to a bottleneck, then it opened up, and then we got back to a little bit of a bottleneck. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what the next major character that we find, that we pick up, is really going to open this seed up. Just because, like, we look at Drulith. Drulith already has 6 out of his 7 characters he would technically need for Kefka's Tower, but he only has... Out of all those characters, though, we still have only found 1 Esper, and I think that was from the Zen Woods guy.
Yeah. I think it's only Palador, actually. Yeah, and usually that's you find that situation usually reversed, right? You usually find Espers because there's so many more of them, and you're kind of hunting down characters, but.
Yeah, and normally when I've done seeds too, or they tend to go pretty lock and step. You'll find like 3 Espers, and you'll find a character, and then that character gives you 3 more, and then at the end you're hunting either 1 Esper or like 1 character. Very rarely do you see this where you're like, well, I have 7 or 8 characters already, but I have almost no Espers. Looks like Zelfer is doing the Barren Falls check right now. And Chardanook, which, with the adjustments we have to Chardanook, he is not as bad, but still can be a very time-consuming fight. Atmatech did make some very, very much appreciated changes to make Chardanook stay in its demon form longer than it stays in its girl form, which was very much needed because this fight would just take forever. It looks like Darkfall is still grinding away, like we said, getting those Curse Shield fights done. And we got Drulith actually taking on the Red Dragon using a quick, I think he had some Ice Rods to make quick work of that fight. So that'll be a huge chunk of experience, as well as a higher tier item. And he receives an Atma weapon, which can be pretty good, depending on if you have the right kind of team that can use it. But it looks like we'll have to wait and see how that goes. the Chardonnay fight still going on, and the Phantom Train is in the burning house, so that is what caused the fire, is a giant train coming through. And it looks like we've got Drulith going to take on the Tritok fight, where we find number 128. So we'll have to see how he does with that. It can be a pretty easy fight or a pretty rough one. Did not get to see. It looks like that is Realm that's possibly in the burning house. And we got Darkfall still doing that check with the burning house, like I said, just grinding that to get them done. Yeah, this is the rare time where Realm is doing the reversal, where she is not getting rescued by her father, she is rescuing him. So a very fitting reversal there. Right, so we're kind of in a little bit of a dead time right now. Everybody's just kind of doing their last check, so let's see what comes out of the Barren Falls.
All right, I think I'm back.
Say welcome back there. All of a sudden I went quiet, and I heard you go quiet, and I was like, all right, well, I guess we're doing this thing solo.
Yeah, well, I assume you did a fantastic job, and I'll take a moment
Did
to
my
catch
very
up.
best.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
Ben
thank
show.
you.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying there was some checks where it seems like you're basically just reversing the check, but it's one of those things that's like, well, okay, well, who else would check? Who else would lock? Realm, like, Realm has, like, only 2 checks, so there's a lot of fun things like that where it's like, okay, we kind of had to make some changes to it just to allow people back in. But,
Looks like, okay, while I was away, Realm was found, and now someone's doing the Esper Mountain check.
Yep, where we find a man and 2 bears living in that mountain. Not who you expect to see there. Although actually more aptly to find him there.
Yeah, bears usually have issues with little blonde girls.
Yeah, they just show up, they steal your porridge, they sleep in your bed. These bears are not happy with Realm being there. But yeah, Realm was actually in the burning house, so it's kind of coincidence.
Along with the Phantom Train, I see.
Yeah, it's always fun to see places where Phantom Train pops up, like, oh, Phantom Train was where Doomgaze was, so you just have this flying train in the air.
Yeah, he's just, on the 3rd story of a burning building. It's a train.
Yeah. It's always fun to see, like, in the burning house. Like, oh, we've got T-Rexes in this burning house, and we've got T-Rexes in the opera, things like that. I'm guessing Dark Falls must be out of Phoenix Downs, because he's not just using a Phoenix Down to take care of the Phantom Train.
That is a yikes right there.
Yep.
And we have Zelfer doing the tunnel armor check then?
I believe so. And I believe that is also where Drulith is as well. Yep, is the tunnel armor check. And Needlerific is doing the Esper Mountain.
Yeah, he's doing the looting after you get the character Esper.
Okay. Yep, and there's Mr. Doomgaze again, who we saw at the match tech. It looks like Dark Falls gets the train down, so that's good to see. Yeah, the Phantom Train is not who you want to see if you do not have a Phoenix Down to take care of them.
Or someone to suplex them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is not a trigger to automatically kill him, though.
We'll see if Atma can work on that. And Zelfer taking the Doomgaze fight, though.
Yeah, I think he's got enough, it looks like rods and everything that he should be able to make that fight hopefully go a little bit quicker. Does have Ice 3 still, so that is possibly going to hurt a good bit. Yeah, it looks like it does, but I
survived it.
Yeah, at this point I think you just try to heal and crack enough rods to drop them as fast as possible.
Drulith not resetting to the Narsh battle.
Yeah, I was looking to see. He must still be in the world of Ruin though, because I do not see anything there. But yeah, he's going to the Tritok fight, and then I believe he has Umaru, so he might be going to do the Umaru check right after that as well.
Yeah, trying to double up.
Yep, and there's that number, Mr. 128. I think he was taking him on earlier, but must have wiped on him.
Okay.
And there down goes Doomgaze for Zelfer.
Nice. 1991, good year, and just enough to get past Doomgaze, I guess.
Gets a good chunk of experience out for that, and we'll get to see what comes out of that check as well.
Choked. Not a great Esper, but we'll have to see what magic and stats it might provide.
30% MPB isn't too bad, and life too on it. So that is pretty worth learning.
Yeah. Ice 2 isn't that bad either at this point, so...
Yeah, some of those early ones. And there goes Drulith taking down the number 128. So we'll have to see what he gets out of this. See what Tritok gives for us today. See, I believe it should be, yep, it's going to be an Esper, so that will be his second or third Esper, I believe. And gets Phantom.
Phantom. And now has the opportunity to do the Umaru check. I usually save before... Okay, that was way too quick to check.
Yep, I didn't even get a chance to see it.
How does he even know it's on that Esper?
I don't think he does. I think he's just putting it on somebody to have somebody start learning some spells.
Did not save, so he's just man-moaning this and open up trash chest as well.
Yeah, another person I generally can be a bit scary to see, especially with this party. Although he did just pick up Phantom, and the big guard as well. But yeah, I would not be surprised if he actually cast the Phantom, because that actually makes the Gigantos fight a little bit easier.
Yeah, almost completely nullifies any damage Gigantos can do.
Once Nidorific finds another Ragnarok in one of the chests, and I believe that is the Magitek Armor Cave. So I'm wondering if everybody else has found that as well. Ooh, Zelfer, not who you want to see at Milk Colts. That is not a fun time.
Yes.
Atma.
Atma. First version of it, right? Or is that the second version?
I believe Atma weapon is the version you find in Floating Continent, and then Atma is the one that you find in Kefka's Tower.
True.
I could be wrong, though. But either way, not a boss that you want to see anywhere. And it looks like Nidorific is going to be taking on the Doomgaze as well. Yeah, see that Atma just about wiped out Zelfer's party with a single Quake. He's going to rightfully reset out. You don't want to see that at any time.
Nope.
You need to go in with Float to take that on.
I didn't see what Drulith got out of the Umaru cave. Do we have that on the tracker?
Did not catch that either. Sometimes you're watching one person and someone else gets you just at that right moment where you don't catch it.
Yeah, I was checking on Nidorific taking on this the Doomgaze.
Yep, it looks like he downed that pretty quick and got his Shoat Esper as well. So he'll have that.
Yeah, and
I think everybody has traumatic memories of Atma Fraggle.
We have Zelfer on the Phantom train, and he picks up a Celis, so that's all 7 characters for him, I believe.
Yes, this seed was very character loaded, so I would not be surprised if they're probably going to find even more characters before this is over. But Celis is a good one to find. I mean, she's kind of considered one of the higher, kind of one of the more top tier characters to have on your party, just because she gets that natural magic, and Runic can make quite a few fights a little bit more manageable. And she has some very solid checks to it as well.
Yeah, we have Dark Vows going to the Magitek Factory. Probably also has Celis then.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, I mean, he'd kind of have to. There'd be no other reason to go there, so yeah, he must have Celis as well. And Drew is going to go to Cyan's Dream, it looks like, so we'll have to see what comes out of this.
Yeah, we have quite a bit of variance, but then you would expect that out of like so many characters so quickly, right? You just have the whole entire seed open to you.
Exactly, yeah. When you find this many characters this quick, the divergence gets very wide really quickly, because there's some checks that where you might see them all go do fairly quickly at the same time, but most likely not. So we'll have to see what these darn kids are down here in Cyan's Dream. Hopefully it's not someone you don't want to see down there. Unless, like, I'd hate to see a statue down here, but we at least know it can't be Atma.
True, true. Scratch that one off the list, and we'll see what it is.
$24. That's a pretty easy one.
Yep. I believe there's quite a few things that you can do to actually make this fight even easier, but shouldn't be too much trouble.
It's definitely, there's quite a few of the bosses, and it looks like Dad is at the Phantom Train spot. So that is the longest flying jump kick I've ever seen in my life.
He does not skip leg day, that guy does.
No, he can jump forever. Look at him go. It just makes it even better because the background is technically scrolling with him as he's doing this flying jump kick.
They're just, oh, we have Drewlet to get through that. Number 24 fight.
Comes out of this for him. Oh, Minerva.
With the group full of guys, maybe the merit award coming handy.
Yeah, the Minerva is probably one of the best pieces of equipment in the game, at least best pieces of armor in my opinion. Just makes so many fights so much easier with that negation of a lot of different elements. And looks like Dad goes down as well.
Yeah, we have Neaterific in the Opera House.
First time. Yeah, that's definitely something you won't see too often. A lot of runners generally don't tend to go there just because who knows if it'll get an Esper or just what it is. That looks like the first check was just a Guardian. So it'll be interesting if he does find an Esper out of there, which might put him a little bit ahead of everybody else just because nobody most likely is going to check it. But it is always an option that some people will check from time to time.
Yeah, especially, I mean, if you get to 8, 9 Espers in a seed like this where you don't want to just be getting more characters and more items, you might just have to go there to get those last couple.
Yep, that's normally when we'll see a good old auction house dive is, if you're down to 1 or 2 Espers left, you're like, okay, I just need to find some quick checks. Hopefully this has it. More likely than not it doesn't, but we got Dark Files going into Ebot's Rock. So I'll have to see what he finds in there as he looks for his 20... I always forget. It's 23 pieces of coral, I believe.
It's it's some number of coral, and then you just gotta
22.
find a way out.
Yeah, most of the time, I just one of our community members, Raphaelos, was telling me, he's like, yeah, I think I've got most of them kind of memorized the patterns. I'm like, I don't memorize. I just randomly run through it.
Yeah, it's like at the point you have to do Ebot's Rock, I've pretty much thrown the seed away.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like if you're... I wouldn't say I've gone that far. Normally, if I'm having to do Fanatic's Tower, that's where I'm just like, alright, if this isn't a race seed, we're just going to restart. This is a nightmare. There's actually been quite a lot of good equipment been found in this one, though. We've found quite a few Ragnaroks already. We found some good Force Armors, the Minerva. I think 2 or 3 pieces of Genji armor already.
Yeah, I saw some red caps, which are an excellent equipment since they're so versatile with who can use them.
I found an air anchor, so now you're really hoping you can find an Edgar now, because air anchor makes a lot of just some easy fights just trivial.
Oh, and Drewlith finds a spicy chicken.
Yep, not who you want to find, hidden in a dream. But he might be able to take it, I don't know. He's got a lot of really good equipment. So he might be able to handle this. Thankfully, Ragnarok does not count as fire element, and we've seen a lot for force armor and fire shield, so I think this might be a fairly easy, straightforward fight for him, actually. Yeah, he's just cracking ice rods. I'm just going to ice him down pretty quickly, I imagine. And we'll have to see what Dark Fowls finds behind Ebbett's Rock, because it looks like he has just gotten his coral pieces in.
Yeah,
he's trying to shoo that away.
Yeah, one of the things for anyone who's watching this that might not be too familiar with the randomizer, the bosses are actually scaled. So while you don't want to run into Poltergeist, he's not going to be at his like max power level that you would if you were to find him. So Drulith actually gets through him with only one loss.
He was had kind of in the right spot. He had a lot of ice rods to help take care of it, and then Cyan, definitely one of the stronger characters with his sword tech. Looks like Dark Fowls has found Umaru. I'm trying to think of. Oh, this was Ebbett's Rock. Yeah, so Umaru is in Ebbett's Rock. Another. Okay, so Big Guard should make that fight a lot easier too, being a very physical heavy character or a physical heavy boss.
Drulith finds an Esper. Kieran in the after the boss fight unlocks Cyan's techniques and finds another Esper in Fenrir, which is an excellent Esper to find.
Yeah, that is Fenrir is highly sought after, even if his spells are horrible and everything like that, just because when you go up to Kefka's Tower and you get to that phase 3, Fenrir will actually block a calmness hit on you. So it's one of that and Golem, where a lot of runners always will try to look for those Espers if we can get them, to just make that phase of the Kefka Tower fight a little bit easier.
Yeah, so you're pretty much guaranteed for the 4 characters you're taking up the tower, make it all the way to Kefka.
Outside anything else, but yeah, at least block the calmness for you. But it did overall look like that Cyan's Dream had, even if you just like 2 out of 3 Espers were found in there, that is, at least for this seed too, a really good check to have made.
Yeah, and like I said, it unlocks Cyan's 8th level technique, which is really, really useful. That'll take care of a lot of things, even up until including the Kefka's fight.
Yep. Yeah. No. Just getting level 7 off of him is huge, because Quadra Slam does quite a good bit of damage, and it's really kind of what makes Cyan just so much better in this version, where we do have fast sword tech applied. So his sword meter actually charges a lot faster than it did in Vanilla 6, where unfortunately it just took so long for that to charge up. That wasn't really relevant.
Yeah.
Looks like Tritox making people freeze for Drulith.
Yeah, he's doing some palette swaps of his own. And
getting everybody frozen.
Is Dark Fowl still... This is still the original Umaru fight, right? Umaru is actually pretty tough.
Yeah, Umaru is actually pretty tough, and then he gets that boost up where he gets even harder to deal with, so... not a pushover by any means.
Yes. Zelfer finds his Minerva in the dream and is on his way to the spicy chicken. Nidorific is back in World of Valencen.
I'm wondering if he's going up to the man, or it looks maybe there's a relic he's coming back to get.
Possibly. And Dark Fowls gets through Umaru, so...
Nicely done. We'll get to see what jobs. It looks like Nidorific was checking with the man in the woods to go pick that up. And Ragnarok for Dark Falls. The Esper, not the item. Drulith, please. Yeah, he definitely is kind of stuck in an odd position.
Man, his characters are looking sad being so blue, but...
Yeah.
I assume he has no fire to kind of unfreeze them. Oh, okay, Cyan is out of his little lock there.
Yeah, one of those where you're just like sitting and watching, going, okay, when am I going to unfreeze? This is taking way too long.
Yeah, no joke, Ryan. I think none of our runners are having the best of times with this seed.
Yeah, surprisingly, a lot of the characters we've found have been fairly low, what I would call low power characters too. Realm is considered one of the best like magic users in the game because she does have the highest magic stat, but she doesn't have a lot of natural magic, things like that. So it can be you're kind of reliant on your Espers to really get her going. Cyan is considered one of the higher tier, but Gogo is kind of more of a role filler, where it's like, okay, he can fill roles, but he's not really going to take the lead. And Sabin, different people have different opinions on Sabin. Some people really like him, some people don't. So the starting characters for today, Fraggle, were Gogo and Locke. Locke, another character that not a lot of people take too often. His steal skill in this just really isn't enough to really push him there. He has easy checks, but unless he's just like your starter character and you put so many levels into him, probably not one person I would take to Kefka.
Well, we find a Zone Seek, which has Meteor, which is actually a decent AoE spell. Not the greatest. I mean, it's not Ultima, but serviceable, especially in this seed, I would say, where the Espers are few and far between. They don't seem to have very good stats and very good magic either.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Darkfalls, I think his Paladin shield should be uncursed by now, so I'm surprised that we haven't been seeing too many Ultimas just yet from someone like Straco. Although he might still be learning it, that's right, he might not be at the 100 points just yet to unlock it, or to learn it fully.
It looks like the the timer's still counting down over his head, so I just don't think he has the 18 fights. I don't think anyone does. Looks like Nidorific, who is also trying to uncurse the shield, is also still cursed.
Yep, and he actually went to Owzer's mansion, so he's one of the only people who went to Owzer's to see what's there.
True. Zelfer trying to get Poltergeist stopped.
Not a bad strategy to take. I'm not sure if he's immune or not, though.
No, I believe you can't stop him. I'm not sure if it's successful, but it looks like it might be.
That's one of those things I need to go back and kind of remember, like, what all bosses are weak to what, because there's a lot of those where it's like, oh, you don't think you can do this to them, but you actually can. And that's one of those things where more experienced runners probably could have told me right away, like, oh yeah, this is easily something you can stop, or but normally skills like that actually you don't see actually used too often in this either. Like stop and slow aren't used as much as they are in like Free Enterprise and things like that.
Yeah, I think that's what actually makes Cyan even a little bit better, because his level 6 technique has the ability to stop. I think it's like a stunner, and so if you can get that to go off, I mean, yeah, it makes fights like Poltergeist pretty easy.
Yep, and looks like he does get the spicy chicken down. Looks like Darkfalls is still working on that Vargas fight in Esper Mountain. He's getting pretty close to his Sabin dying, so he's probably going to be getting ready to Phoenix down him up, because this fight's probably going to go a little bit longer than expected.
Nidorific is running into a heck of a fight right here. That is, going to be a wipe.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the fixed encounters being randomized too, it's not who you expect to be there, and you will sometimes get those fights where you're like, oh, you are not who I wanted to see right here at all.
Yeah, I gotta stay a little bit away from those portraits, or they pull you right in.
And there are some of the portrait fights that you just have to take as well.
True.
So we'll have to see. I did not get to see if Darkfalls was able to finish that. He must have been able to, because I see him exiting out, or warping out, I should say.
Yeah, I think all that Esper Cave gave you was a red cap, but
not what you want to see coming out of there. Yeah, I think Drulith right now is kind of the furthest ahead. It looks like Darkfalls is going to go check Fanatics Tower. Yep, see that's not a character, and just turn around.
Yeah, I think Zelfer and Drew are pretty much neck and neck. Obviously, each having either a decent amount of characters or a pretty good Esper.
Yeah, Zelfer's hunting purely for Espers now. He's got his 7 characters. So we'll have to kind of see what checks. It looks like he is going to start doing, probably going to go up and do the Tri-Talk check, and he's probably going to go up and do the Amaro check, just since those are both right there.
Nidorific taking this fight again. We'll see how it goes for him the second round.
Yeah, no, definitely looks like it's going a little bit better for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, those veterans can be quite nasty at times. See, it looks like Drulith is now actually just now getting to South Figaro. I guess he wanted to wait until he actually had Celeste before he made this dive for all the checks here.
I gotta say, this is probably the longest time I've seen someone not go into South Figaro.
Yeah, this is probably when I'm running a seed. Stop 1 is Narsh for all those checks up there. Stop 2 is normally South Figaro, even if I don't have Celeste.
Yeah.
And then from there, we'll decide where we're gonna go with this seed. Looks like Zelfer's gonna be taking on the red dragon that's up there at the at Narsh as well. I just get that big chunk of experience. Still has some ice rods left over to make that a pretty easy, straightforward fight.
Yeah, and he's got that Ragnarok, so the physical damage is pretty good too.
Yep. Yep, yeah, downs that fire dragon really quick. Oh, looks like Phoenix was in Celus's cell. So he gets another, so Drulith gets another Esper, and I believe it had, I didn't get to see what the stat was on it, but it did have a stat on it, which is always good to see. Yep, now now Zelfer's going to be going to take on Tritalk and to take on that. And it looks like Nidoriffic's still working his way through Owzer's Mansion.
Did he find fixed dice, or is he rolling regular dice?
Who, Nidoriffic?
Yeah, Nidoriffic.
I don't think I've seen fixed dice picked up anywhere, at least not from a chest, so unless he found it from a weapon vendor.
I think I just saw Drulith pick up regular dice, so that might be what he's rolling. I was just kind of excited about seeing fixed dice, I guess.
Fixed dice is always a divisive topic in the Worlds Collide community on whether it's good or not. I'm very much in the camp that if I get it, I'm going to use it, just because most of the time it's going to be enough to carry you through quite a few fights. But
yeah, the way I figured, the only way I'm winning a race is through sheer luck alone, so I might as well start rolling them, right?
Yeah, that's my point, especially if you can get somebody that has like an offering and fixed dice, like it's just gonna make that seed a whole bunch easier. So you might as well just be like, yeah, we're going to the tables with it. Hopefully it'll get us there.
Indeed.
So Nidoriffic should get quite a good bit. It does look like he has fixed dice, so that should actually help. I'll have to say, I can't imagine he's just using regular dice. I have to imagine those have to be fixed dice.
Dark Fowls is actually going into Owzer's Mansion, so we'll see what happens here.
Severin, I am with you. I do like the double fixed dice Genji Glove offering, but I do agree with Mr. E. There's times where that takes forever, especially if you it's your last hit. Then you're like, I know only one of these dice would probably kill him, and then you're waiting for 8 rolls of fixed dice that take a long time. So there is obviously pros and cons to them.
That's maybe when you take what is it? You pause that character's roll and then you just have someone else finish off the fight for you.
Yeah. It actually looks like Drulith is going to go to the auction house as well, so he's probably looking for some easy Espers too. I don't think there was actually any Espers in there though.
Yeah, he's feeling lucky, but you can always just ask the Opera House guy to see if there's any, so...
Yep, he will tell you if there's any glowing stones remaining.
Flame Eater.
Yeah, that is in the Umaru check, it looks like. We're in Umaru's spot, I think, for Zelfer.
Make quick work of this.
This should be... Yeah, he still has 2 ice rods left. This should be really easy to just... for those of you who don't know, with the ice rods, or for any of the rods actually, they will target everybody and the damage is split, but you can actually single target the ice rods as well so that the damage is not split. And we can say right there that ice rod hit Flame Meter for 7,000 damage. So in that case, it'd be better to just target singly and then get it done and quick with, instead of trying to spend an extra ice rod that maybe wasn't needed.
Nice. Drulith finding Starlit actually out of the... with Mag Power 2, that's a nice stat boost. Magic is terrible, but I'll take Magic +2.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. I don't think, from what I've seen from some of the Espers, it doesn't look like we have any pageant winners here for them. It looks like they've all been pretty tame. Zelfer's gonna go do the Doma Castle right now. Nidorific still working on his. I think Nidorific was trying to get all those chests from Mausers as well. We see Dark Falls is probably ahead enough that he's just riding straight to the boss. Is not really going to matter about a few chests along the way.
Yeah, and Drulith is just diving it again. And whoa, he has another Esper.
Sometimes you get lucky.
Sometimes a fixed dice roll your way.
Yeah. Now it looks like Zelfer's going into Magitech Factory, so this is 3 checks for him that's going to come out of this. The Pedon, exactly who I want to see, because that's a quick and easy fight.
Assuming he has the Phoenix Downs.
Phoenix Downs.
He picked them up since last time.
Yeah, Pedon is another one of our Phoenix Downable or Revivify bosses that is just nice and easy. There had been talks about removing that from those bosses, but most of the community was just like, no, it's nice to have sometimes those easy bosses to help open up the seed a little bit, instead of having to grind through, because Eden Fight without that stuff is a pain.
Yeah, it's, are you kidding me? Grand Train and you're done.
Yep, exactly. Now, granted, it'd be a way for Strago to learn Grand Train, so this might have actually been one of those times where if you think you're going to take Strago all the way to the end with you, maybe if you feel like you're ahead enough that you can spend the time, you just wait for the Grand Train to actually hit and then Phoenix down them. So that's a play that I didn't see either of them make, but is something to take into consideration when doing it. Zelfer going to get the Welk at the first check, and the Magitech Factory is going to make quick work of that.
I think I saw Esper with Ultima on Dark Fowls' screen. So I don't know what Tritalk. I know Julith got Tritalk, but
probably the Paladin Shield, because I believe in the standard race flag seed, no Ultima is turned on. And yeah, Drulith finds an Illumina, always another great find. So that was in a Magitech Factory. But yeah, I don't believe you can find. Well, maybe you can. I'd have to go back and look at the flag set. But it's pretty rare to find Ultima on an Esper.
And Strago is now wielding that Illumina. Not the greatest sword swinger, but I mean it's an Illumina, right?
Yeah. Okay, so they are saying that the Bismarck Esper does have Ultima ×1.
Damn, that's 2 ways to learn Ultima, so you can either have 2 characters learn it at the same time or learn it twice as fast. Either option is very, very good. And we have a lot of free bosses in this Magitech Factory.
Yeah, Magitech Factory is a good, looks like, check, especially because we're finding Espers in here, and pretty easy bosses. They are going to make, with all the high tier weapons we've found, they are going to be making quick work of a lot of these bosses.
Yeah,
so there's been enough Illuminas and Ragnaroks and to go around.
Minerva's, Red Caps, it's Hero Rings, it's got it all. Zelfer and Drulith are neck and neck.
Yep. Yeah, this is one of those times where it's like, yeah, this is going to be a melee heavy seed, it looks like. I do want to get an Esper check the next time we see Dark Falls, though, because I think he's picked up more than just 3 Espers. I could be wrong, but I think he'd be a little bit further ahead than that. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that for him.
Yeah, we'll get an update on that right now. And Zelfer looks like he just warped out of the Magitech Factory. Did not take the rail car to the 3rd check.
Yep, looks like he's just going to do first 2 checks and call it done.
Yeah, which is a good thing, because you'd actually have to take on 2 bosses and a couple of cutscenes just to get to that 3rd check.
Yeah, and especially when you're so close to being in go mode with you having 8 Espers already, it's one of the, and being an hour into the seed, it's one of those, okay, do I take the time to keep going and throughout, or is it going to be better to get these 2 quick ones, get out and go look at other checks? Looks like Drulith is taking on the Air Force right now as well, whilst Dark Falls is actually in Cyan's Dream.
Yeah, he's going to pick up a Force Shield for that Air Force, so we'll see if he also nopes out of the factory. And
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if any of them go all the way through.
yeah, we're an hour in, and looks like we're getting closer and closer to Kefka's tower. Hopefully, I don't jinx that. But Zelfer looks like he's just gonna try his hand at the auction house. We know there's 2 espers there, so we'll see how patient he is.
Yeah, yeah, that would put him into go mode. The question will be, is he high enough level, or is he gonna have to go do some grinding before he dives into Kefka's tower? Because being in go mode an hour in is pretty quick. So his characters might not be as high leveled as he needs to be, just because Kefka's tower being unscaled, or Kefka himself being unscaled. You really don't want to go in there unless you're really ready for it. But there is always things you can do, like he can go hunt down some dragons to get a lot of experience and get some gear off of that. So there is ways that he can do some grinding still too.
Drulith, 1 esper away from go mode, and looks like he's going to check the tunnel armor, which we know is unfortunately not an esper, I believe. But he picks up a Ragnarok. That's good.
Yep, never gonna say no to Ragnaroks. Yeah, looks like he's got Ragnaroks, he's got Illuminas. Yeah, we've got everything. It looks like Zelfer found the first esper, possibly the second. I'm not sure where he's at on his auction house.
You know, I don't think I've ever thought about that. Does the seed randomize the auction house, or each one of these going to get the same pattern at the auction house?
I believe it is. Everybody should get the same.
So then, if Zelfer checks that auction house again, he would get Tritalk, I believe.
Yep, I do believe that it's the same for everybody. So yeah, now we'll have to see that. So exactly, it looks like he's going to go do right now. He's going to go check one more time to see if it's there, just so he can get into go mode. Yep, he's going to go for that last one. So he's going to find that. He'll be in go mode.
Oh, no.
Maybe not. Okay. So we were both wrong. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, man, he's going to take the risk and it's going to pay off. And no, that was not a payoff.
Shows how often we go to.
Yeah, exactly. I hate Jador. Other runners make it look so easy, and then you do it, and it's just like you're there for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm the exact same way. Like, I'll go there and I'm like, yeah, this should be quick and easy. I'll get all these. Nope, not today.
Oh, and no, he's got it. Tritalk.
It's just been off on the count on where he was in it then.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like both Drulith and Zelfer will be in go mode now. So now it's just going to be...
Yeah, no, I thought the cave didn't lead to an esper, but I guess it did. So yeah, we got 2 people going into go mode.
Yep, so now we'll have to see who, like, how much they want to grind before they go in, or if they're just going to dive right into it. I'll have to see. Drulith might be going to go... Oh, he's just going to go right into the tower.
Yeah, normally I do a check to make sure I have sleeping bags, make sure I have, just some Phoenix Downs and stuff, because you do not want to go into that tower without at least some, things. But truly feeling confident.
Like Mystery says in chat, he's got quite a few rods. So I guess he's just going to have Strago cracking all of his rods to do some big damage that way, and just see if he can race it down. Meanwhile, it looks like Zelfer's probably going to go do a little bit of grinding. He's only in the low mid 30s, so yeah, he's going to go to the Opera House to get the dragon that's in there, get that big chunk of experience that comes out of that, and then probably look to see how he feels about his stats. Nidorific is picking up that Ragnarok Esper that was in Ebbett's Rock. Yeah, Froggle making a fun little joke. He's got to be pretty confident. Drulith has got to be pretty confident going into Kefka because he cannot skip it anymore. We recently found out you can skip Kefka's fight entirely based on a few manipulations of things, but that was very quickly ruled to not be allowed in any community race or into any kind of battle royale racing that we are doing, just because that would be quite unfair.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to skip out on that music? That's reason enough to ban it.
Exactly, and I mean, and Kefka's the Kefka sprite is one of the most iconic sprites out there too. It's always fun to see Kefka, but it looks like we had Blue Dragon at the Opera House, so Zilfer making quick work of that.
Yep. Well, the dragons are just an excellent way. Like, you shouldn't go out and grind like random battles and stuff. Go to the places that have quick dragon checks. Get your experience that way. In Kefka's Tower, there's 2 dragons you can grind on.
We've got Locke, who unlocks the dragon too. So if you need, like, if the 2 open ones weren't available, you could always go back to Phoenix Cave. I mean, I don't think you would, but you could always go back to Phoenix Cave to get the dragon that's in there.
Yep. Because I don't know how comfortable you feel, but I always feel like low 40s is probably good enough. I mean,
yeah, low 40s, depending on my gear, especially with all the gear they have here, I'd feel comfortable with. It really kind of depends on either the espers or the equipment you found. I mean, there has been times where it's like, okay, I'm going to need to be kind of mid to upper 40s to take Kefka based on what I have or the party I have. But yeah, with how many rods here and everything, low 40s, you should probably be okay.
Yeah, none of these characters are like absolutely terrible. You know, you got a Cyan, you got a Sabin, you got Gogo. I mean, pretty serviceable characters. I mean, you don't have Terra or anything. If I had a Terra and a souped up Celis, I'd probably be willing to go even the mid 30s sometimes.
Yeah. And the other thing to consider is that there is 3 boss fights that you're going to have to do in here as well, so that will give you a good chunk of experience too. Yeah, just like Fraggle said, if my party's level 30s, I'm willing to go in just because exactly like they're saying in chat. You're having 3 fights minimum that you're going to do for each of those characters, so that's a good chunk of levels you can get right there too.
True. I was thinking more along the lines of when I get to the Kefka fight, I probably want to be like at 40, 40, 41.
Yeah.
But true. Going into the tower, yeah, probably 30s.
Yeah, and again, it's always one of those things, depending on the equipment. And like, if you have not found a lot of good equipment, or if you've not found a lot of good espers or things like that, you might have to do a little bit more grinding before you go in. But because there is times where you get the kind of those jet seeds where you're just like, oh man, I'm in go mode so early that I'm gonna have to do some grinding, things like that. But you just haven't found like your Illuminas, your Ragnaroks to really make it easier. But
yeah, your characters are still rocking like leather hats and like robes and
yeah. Yeah, those kind of fights, you're just like, okay, I'm going to have to grind up a little bit more because the equipment's just not there. But yeah, looks like they are both racing. Zilfer and Drulith are both racing through the tower as we speak. Nidoriffic taking down another dragon to get that experience there. And I'm trying to see, it looks like Dark Files is that in Mount Zozo, I think?
I believe, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's going to do the free check for Cyan.
He's going to find Sabin up there.
Yeah, I guess Dark Files, maybe his routing was just a little off this time around. It's really, I mean, sometimes you go for those different routes and then they just don't result in anything, right? You don't find your characters, you don't find your espers, and this another seed, you do the same route and you find everything you need. So it's just there is a roll sometimes.
Yep, there is a lot of luck of the draw when it comes to checks. I mean, it might just have happened that you did one check that I didn't do, and that just worked out where that led you to the next 2 espers and then the next character, whereas my checks just all led into dead ends. And we both made good, valid plays, and it just worked out that your way just happened to be the better way to go that one time. So.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a matter of the chests you open.
Yep. Darkfall's taking down that that dirt dragon. And again, I've got to make my spiel about the dragons, how there is no rhyme or reason for how they're named or what they look like. Because we got the dirt dragon, who's a T-Rex. We've got the gold dragon, who's a Brontosaurus. And then we've got the white dragon, the red dragon, the blue dragon, the ice dragon, and it's just madness.
I mean, and like, speaking of the gold dragon, I mean, dragon's not even gold. He's like a mustard yellow. He's like the hot mustard you get at McDonald's for your nuggets. Like, come on, work just a little harder on those things,
Yeah, I would be very interested to hear kind of how they came up with the like the nomenclature on the dragons. Like, were they just throwing words out there? And then someone's like, well, you know, a T-Rex kind of looks like a dragon. And it's like, in what way? In what way does a T-Rex look like a dragon?
In the way that we got to get this game out. So, yeah, put that palette there and let's call it a night.
Exactly. It's like, I mean, because some of them are reused, like, from other monsters, where you can clearly tell they're just like, we need a few more dragons. Just, we've got this T-Rex. Use it.
Oh, no, Fraggle. The blue dragon looks like a dragon, right? There's some that are very dragon-like, and there's others that are a brontosaurus.
And then you've got the ice dragon that's like the little, like, lizard. And I'm like, how is this a dragon? This is a pet that you would keep.
We got Drulith on one of the statues, and looks like he found an Ultros.
Yep, and it looks like that is Ultros 2, because this is the Pincer Attack Ultros. So this would be the one that you normally find in Opera. Yep.
Yeah, Opera House Ultros.
Easy one to take care of, nice and quick.
Yeah, no.
Neorific doing ship's chopping.
Yeah, looks like now that Darkfowl's found Cyan, I believe that's gonna really unlock the seed for him. So we should be doing some quick checks.
Yeah, if he goes to right away to looks like Collapsing House. Yep, it looks like he's gonna go to Collapsing House. So he'll get that done. Hopefully he'll make the dive into Cyan's Dream pretty early and get the Espers that are out of there.
I think he already did. I think those are part of the Espers that he has right now.
Okay.
Let's see. This is a pretty easy Kefka's Tower, actually, finding Merpa here.
Yeah, it's been a pretty lackluster Kefka's Tower. Kefka really called out his D tier squad this time.
Yeah, he's got the Miami Heat defense.
Yeah.
This is going to be, let's see, it's a 113 right now. We'll probably, we might even get a sub 130.
A very fast seed time, too. On average, I mean, seeds can go anywhere from, I'd say, 130 is on the pretty short end of times. Average sits around, normally about a 2-hour seed is pretty common. 2 to 2.5, and then like anything after that's kind of starting to become a longer seed. But yeah, sub 130 seed would be extremely fast.
I think we just found another Ultros in another statue, so Kefka is really choosing some terrible guardians for his castle right now.
Fingers crossed, if we could get all 3 Ultros fights as all 3 statues, that would make my day.
We have Drulith with the... Oh no, we have Drulith on Sir Behemoth, so Senor Behemoth.
Senor Behemoth to you, sir. I've never understood the Senor Behemoth either, because it's like, okay, so you drop him down, and is it the same Behemoth that comes back as undead, or is this a different undead Behemoth, or...?
I think what it is this is... So you have Behemoth, you have the Senior Behemoth, and then you have the Grandpa Behemoth, who may be coming back from the grave. I don't really know how that lore works, but...
Lucky block. 2 lucky blocks from Drulith as he's down to 194 health, for instance. Senor Behemoth, yeah, he's gonna have to do something quick.
He's gonna have to look for an elixir. There, he's got 3, so...
Yeah, elixirs and mega elixirs, always what you want going into the tower. So you're right in time, because there comes a Meteo. Neorific looks taking on another dragon. See, that's the dragon I was talking. How is that a dragon?
I don't know.
How is that a dragon?
To me, it always looks like the dragon is wearing shades, so I dig it. It's a pretty cool dragon.
Well, it is the ice dragon, so you know, he is pretty cool.
Alright.
Gonna make quick work out of him.
There we go. We have Zelford doing the quick kill on the second form, and
Drulith doing the exact same thing. They are neck and neck right now. This is going to be to the wire. So I believe that is all 3 statues then, or maybe not, because I think the Guardian, I always forget the Guardian throws off my boss count here. So I think they have 1 more statue to take on.
I think that might be it. It was a Narapa, 2 Ultros, a Senor Behemoth.
You're right. Okay. Yep. That is the 4 bosses then.
and we'll find out right now. That's a
Yeah.
baby dragon, right?
This is gonna come down to like who like literally might come down to, I mean, obviously the Kefka fight, but also like spending time to like put up a tent to sleep in and things like that. So it's going to be quite a close. This is going to be to the wire between these two.
Oh no, we haven't checked the goddess statue. So there's cross your fingers. There's still some chances.
Ooh, Atma weapon. That is not what you want to see. Although easier than Atma, so it's not as bad.
True.
Drago's gonna put up big guard for Drulith, and I think he has Ultima on Strago, so that should make this fight a little bit easier.
Oh, we got Saban wearing a Mog suit. I was like, what happened to Jack? I was like,
that is something that throws a lot of people off, as they'll come in and they'll see a Mog and they're like, why does it say Mog, or why does it say Saban but it looks like Mog? It's like, he's got the Mog suit on, and unfortunately the other suits don't change how you appear either, because I would love if you put on the Chocobo suit, you look like a Chocobo.
yeah, or
or if
baby
you put
behemoth suit. Oh man, that'd
Yeah.
be adorable.
Like, use the sprite for when the behemoth is actually walking up to you in the cave. That would be my day would be done.
All right, so some more stuff for Atma to work on. We have Nidorific checking the tower
Here's a brave man.
and finding tunnel armor.
At least it's something easy, but yeah, remember you can only use magic in here.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, tunnel armor weak against physical attacks, but it doesn't have to worry about that right now.
But he does have Ultima, so he should make pretty quick work of it. And Zelfer's taking a little bit of a lead because he got Atma weapon down a little bit quicker than Drulith has. Looks like Dark Falls is having to reset again, or reset.
You'll get him next time, pal.
Yeah, I didn't see what he wiped on.
And we got our first fight with Zelfer reaching phase 1.
Yep, and with Drulith not too far behind, this is going to be neck and neck. We'll have to see. Looks like Nidorific got Fnatic's tower done pretty quick, so he's running down the tower now.
Technically, we have 3 racers at a tower at the same time, so...
We didn't say which tower.
Alright, so a couple of things about phase 1. Having Cyan makes it a little bit quicker. We're going to see him charge up to 8 and then dispatch that long arm.
Yep. I'll take care of that long. And other guy.
Other dude.
Yeah, I think he's called. I forget what he's called. It's either, but yeah, it's for sure. It's Tools, Tiger, Magic, and then yeah, maybe we can see what he's called. But Magic and Hint. Thank you, Fraggle.
And nice. It's always back, middle, Tiger, and Blue Dude. So
Yeah, it's
pretty
for
much how I
phase.
give it.
For phase 2, you really want to make sure you get the Tiger head down first. He, I believe, is the one who casts Delta attack. One of them can cast Delta that you don't want to deal with. And then you want to get Tools done, because he uses all the Magitech stuff that's a pain. And then the last two you can kind of kill them in any order. They're not horribly bad. The guy in the back just likes to cast a spell over and over again that can become a pain, but
Yeah, because Cleave will take care of the guy in the middle. You can actually mute Magic in the back and basically take him out of the fight. Tiger casts just really bad status ailment, zombie.
yep,
You
that's
just don't
what
want
it
to
is.
deal with that stuff.
There's definitely an order you want to take down on all of these fights. And there he goes. He gets the mute off of the guy in the back. So that'll make that a little bit easier. He'll leave him up for last, just so he doesn't have to deal with his. So he can make sure he's well healed up before he goes into phase 3. Because phase 3 is where kind of the train can go off the tracks really quickly. And we got Nidorific taking on, going down into the Phoenix Cave now. So he'll find his Scion down there. Once he finishes that up, so hopefully that will help him out with opening the seat up a little bit. He already has 7 Espers, so he's been finding a lot of those Espers at the places that checks out a lot of the other runners didn't go to.
Yeah, and speaking of trains, we have Dark Files doing the Phantom Train, so he will find, I believe, Showed at the end of that tunnel.
I believe that's where that is, and yeah, Zephyr and it looks like Druid is kind of catching back up because they're both on phase 2 now. And here we see that using those ice rods to take down the Tiger really quick since he is weak to ice. So he'll get that down in no time flat. More triggers, so I think Zephyr is just on the last phase or the last part of phase 2. He should be moving up pretty quick. And here's where we'll get to see if they remember to make sure
to equip Fenrir.
Exactly. Or if they have anything else that'll block it, because there's nothing more clenching than that moment where Calmness gets cast and you're going, please just only hit one. If it's only gonna hit one, let it be the right person.
I think nothing feels better than being like on a PB pace and then realizing you like put Fenrir on a person with a gem box or something like that, and you're just like, well.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh,
yep.
Really? Entity is saying that Zephyr might only have Palador. It's a risk, but it works.
Yep. There's definitely a few different strategies you can take for up here too. So this seed we can tell has very much become a melee cleave seed though, just because of all the Ragnaroks and everything we found. But definitely not the norm as much. I mean, a lot of the times you'll find just really strong magic or. Here we're also using a lot of rods. We found like ice rods and thunder rods really early that can really carry a seed, but so we're kind of seeing all that, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. And Zephyr goes on to phase 3, so here is before the clown himself, the phase that can get really hairy really quick if you happen to just get a really bad time to double Meteo back to back.
Yeah, Druid having a bit of trouble with this second phase. I know he took a lot. Scion died, and then Saban got zombified. So, like I said, this phase can be pretty tricky.
Yep. And as he's working on this phase, I don't think we've mentioned this today, but for anybody who's interested in learning Worlds Collide, we do have a Discord with a lot of great people in it who are more than willing to show you. Teach you anything you might have, any questions you might have about this randomizer. We have a lot of great guides in there as well, kind of that show where all the checks are, what gates everything also. So if this is something that you're watching that interests you, we really highly encourage you to come join us. It's always fun to see our community grow and have a fun time.
Yeah, and I mean, Final Fantasy VI is just the best Final Fantasy, so why wouldn't you want to be playing the randomizer?
I do have a soft spot in my heart for 6. I'd honestly say like my order of like the Super Nintendo Final Fantasies, and this is gonna be a hot take, but it would probably be 6 first and then 5 second. I know a lot of people are gonna say, but 4 is better than 5. If you've not played Final Fantasy 5 either, it's great. The job system is really, really well done in that one. So yeah, I would say 6, 5, 4, as far as like story and everything goes. And then the other hot take, as far as like boss mechanics and everything, though, I think 5 probably has some of the best boss mechanics, though. But making quick work of the Phase 3 fight.
Yep. Definitely want to get what's her name? I forget what the
Girl, I think, is literally when
Girl.
there's the Fenrir to block the calmness. So he does have that equipped, which is good to see.
Mog has some sort of countdown on him, so he's gonna take a nap in a bit. But it's not Mog, it's Sabin. Sabin's the one gonna take a nap. Sleepy Jack.
And so here's one of those moments where it's like, well, now you don't want to clear off the boss because you really want to make sure you have a chance to get that Phoenix down, to get him up, because you don't want to go into Kefka being down one of your stronger characters.
True.
So yep, there's the Condemn.
All right, Julith making it to Phase 3. So, ooh, Train. That's a nasty spell right there.
Yep, gonna get a bunch of random statuses on there too. So this is also something where, and there comes the Meteor. So here we're gonna have to see. Hopefully, he can get Phoenix down on the save and get him up really quick before this starts getting really bad.
Yeah, unfortunately, he loses his Fenrir, so if he gets chosen by the Calmness, that might be bad.
Yep, that's where you're just crossing your fingers and hoping you get lucky on who it targets. And here it comes. Oh, miss and miss. So he gets there. So we are on to the clown himself.
At full power.
Yep, exactly what you want to see. And it looks like Drulith is on Phase 3 as well, not too far behind. Meanwhile, Dark Fowls is making his dive into the Magitech factory. He should be finding some Espers in there, so I'll be pushing him ever closer to go mode. And then we've got Nidoriffic actually in Cyan's Dream, so that will probably get him a few more Espers. And Nidoriffic is just then missing a few characters.
Yeah, which are pretty easy to find in the seed, so we'll see what happens there. And we have the Mad Clown.
There he is. And like I said, some of the best music in this entire game. The Dancing Mad song is just too good. But yeah, he'll probably make quicker of this. Yep, we're just gonna see he's just gonna start cracking all those rods, doing 5,000 apiece, and then having Sabin using obviously his Quadra Slam. Not sure if he'll be able to get it through the first Goner, but he might be able to make a rush of it.
Yeah, just we have Fallen 1, just heal through that, see if he got a Mega Elixir.
I don't think I saw anybody have a Mega Elixir. Yeah, he's using Mantra and everything to heal everybody up, so yeah, I don't think he has them. Oh, he might be in a bad spot. I think he was expecting Mantra to heal him up. So he's gonna have to go quick. This could go bad really quick. Oh no.
It is coming off the rails. Yeah, I believe Mantra is base health percentage heal, so having 1 is not a lot of health.
Comes, yeah, he's got to get it down. He's got to get healed up quick. Yeah, you can see he's quickly going to his Cure 2s to everybody, but I don't know if he's going to have enough time to get, because Cure 2 divided up amongst everybody, I guess is 1,000. He might have just kept it on the rails. We'll have to see. I don't think he'll be able to get it killed in time.
It is going to be a close one.
Here it comes. We'll have to see who all makes it through. Now, granted, he does have the 4 party members up, so the damage is going to be divided a little bit. That move just looks so anime. Just watching it, like the colors and everything. Yep, okay, he was able to survive it, so he should be fine here.
Yeah, you just don't wanna trigger Ultima, and you should be good.
Yep. I don't know if he's gotten through all of his rods just yet. He probably has 1 or 2 more of those he can crack. He stole a Mega Elixir off of them. Okay.
The Mad Lad.
This guy stealing Mega Elixirs off of Kefka himself.
Look at that. Puts on shades just to be a little extra cool.
Yeah, I mean, now that you've got that, you are fine to go. And he was going to use the Mantra to heal up as well and cure off. That's right, Mantra also cures off the status of that Goner. So that's actually really good here.
That's we'll have to ask him. Maybe he used the Mantra to cure the status ailments because I believe he was muted from the train that Sleep did. Yikes.
Yeah, that's definitely something we'll have to ask him about, because that's not something I would have thought about using off of Sabin, as having that as a way to be able to, even if you muted or blinded, get through that. Yep, he's just using that to clear off the statuses and everything.
Yeah, you learn something every day.
Yeah, and see, that's the fun thing. We're starting to see more and more like innovation come through on like the strategies for this. Like we're starting to see more and more Go-Go being used, because he does fill a lot of roles, and starting to use things like realizing, oh, I have Sabin on my team. If I get him up there, he's gonna have Mantra to help get rid of Grand Train and things like that. That really can be a pain in the butt to deal with. And there's the flash, and the Kefka goes down.
Oh wow!
GG's to Zelfer.
GG Zelfer. Let's give a round of applause.
And we've got Drulith still hanging on. It looks like he had some trouble with the guy and the girl. So he's got 2 down right now, and he's going to face another Meteo, so he's going to lose a Strago as well. Oh no, missed on the Strago. That's right, he must have the Minerva. And there's the Calmness, and there on goes Strago.
Yeah,
this is
might
not
be
looking
bad.
good.
Oh man, he's just lucky he only had 1 Calmness in him. But geez, this is gonna be solo Jack.
Yeah, which is not what you want going into Kefka. Now I'm gonna see if Zelfer would be up for a interview while we watch the other racers.
Sure. We just have Dark Fowls. He's finishing up the factory. Looks like he's gonna go take the 3rd check on that. We have Nitorific coming out of Doma Castle. And we have Drulith approaching Kefka with Lock and a 68 health Sabin. This is going to be impressive, to say the least. Oh, Locke immediately takes a nap, decides he just doesn't want to be in on this, and Sabin wakes him up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Drulith doesn't know this, but for how far ahead he is compared to the other 2 runners, at this point I'd probably just reset the fight out, because it's going to be quite a struggle to take down Kefka from where he is right now.
True.
But obviously he doesn't know where everybody else is, so he probably thinks everybody else is kind of right up on pace with him.
Yeah, let's just, sometimes, the tilt comes in, you might be like, alright, time to FF, call it a night, but let's hope not, because he still has a very good chance of coming in 2nd.
Yep, it does look like Nitorific actually ends Zozo in a pretty obscure treasure chest, found a gem box, so he has ultimate gem box. So when he does find his last 2 characters and his last Esper, it's probably going to be pretty easy for him to get through Kefka.
Sabin dodging Havoc wings.
And unfortunately, it looks like that Drulith is not having the luck that Zelfer did with stealing a Mega Elixir off of Kefka. I'm still going to remember. That's still going to be something we're going to talk about for a time. And I do remember when that Lox stole a Mega Elixir off of Kefka.
I mean, this will be legendary if Drew can pull this off. It's like...
Yeah, especially because Sabin only has 11,000 HP. Like, oof, nope, there he goes.
Nope. Oh no, he has life 3. He is going to continue. And now it comes to an end. But,
and down he goes, and it does look like Drulith has forfeited out of the race, so GG's to Drulith. I do know he said he had some things going on where he might not have time to try to make another attempt, but it was a great attempt on his part. He was doing so great. But it does look like we have Zelfer ready for an interview. So let me go ahead and bring him down. We'll chat with him about the Epic Seal. Hey Zolfer, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. GG's on taking first this week.
GG,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you very much.
So we got to ask both on the steal of the Mega Elixir off of Kefka. Was that just something you did just kind of at random because you felt you were pretty good, or were you actually kind of looking because you knew he had Mega Elixirs on him?
I know he had the Mega Elixir on him, and I just wanted a little extra insurance just in case, and I knew I didn't have one in stock, so that's what that was. I'm a little surprised he got it actually first try, but that's what that was.
Yeah, we were watching Drulith on his attempt. He tried like 2 or 3 times to steal the Mega Elixir, just didn't get it. That's why we were so baffled that he got it the first time.
Oh yeah, I think I just kind of got lucky on that one.
Yeah, that's all of lock stealing is a little bit of luck.
Absolutely.
So
The
I
other
have a
thing-
question. Yeah. I have a
Go.
question. You Mantrine with only 1 HP on Sabin, was that to clear off the status elements? Because we didn't even know that was a thing.
Yes, that was to clear off. Well, mute is what I wanted to clear off. Mantra clears off mute from everyone but the caster of Mantra. So Sabin Mantraing was to clear off mute and darkness from everyone, and then Gogo Mimicking was to clear off mute from Sabin, so I can continue to cure it too as needed on that fight.
That
Now-
is some good stuff right there, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, is that something you've been kind of trying to use kind of more in your runs where you do have Sabin, of using that instead of having to rely on remedies? Or is that kind of like, was that like an on-the-fly thing where you're just like, oh, I know he has this and I know I can use that, and just kind of adapted to it?
Yeah, I kind of adapted to it, to be honest. If I have Sabin on my team, I know I can cure 3 mutes at a time instead of 1, so that's how I like to do it. But I did have a couple echo screens and remedies in stock just in case, and that's exactly why I have the echo screens especially.
Yeah, no, it definitely worked out there for you. And the other question I had kind of about your team, because we're starting to see this more and more, is like, now I know we got Gogo as like one of the first characters, and it seems like a lot of the community's opinion is starting to change on Gogo as a character. It's like, okay, he's not going to be able to use an Esper, but he does a great job of filling in on like just wherever you need him. Have you been kind of liking Gogo more as a character, or is it just he was just one of my starting ones and I didn't want to have to level anybody else?
So I've actually always been a fan of Gogo. I will defend Gogo forever, and I love to see him at the start. Usually I will level whoever the first 4 I get is. I'm sorry, Umaro fans, but Umaro is the most likely to get kicked out if he's one of my starting 4. So, but I'll usually just level the starting 4, but I'm glad to see if Gogo is one of the starting 4, because I'll absolutely use him the whole time.
Yeah, it's one of those when like we first started kind of doing these gated races, everyone was like, oh, Gogo, and he has 1 check, and he's not that great, he can't use an Esper, and it's kind of been surprising how a lot of the community's kind of turned around on him.
So as much as I like Gogo as a character, I am not a fan of his check. But, as in, you saw me get knocked down a couple times, and that's exactly why I'm not a fan of that check at all. But it's a free check, so I kind of keep that in mind. And yeah, but Gogo as a character, I'll defend him all day, every day.
Yeah, so and this seed also looked like we had quite a lot of high power equipment. Was this a faster seed kind of in your opinion, or was this kind of seed actually a bit more on the average side for what we've been seeing in the races?
Well, ooh, that's a good question, actually. There was a lot of good weapons, which helps a lot. I did end up finding 2 Ragnaroks and Illumina, so that ended up helping a lot. Didn't have good magic, though, which I would... well, I didn't find any good magic, so usually I like to do the magic strat myself. I'll teach someone a good spell, slap on a couple earrings, and then go to town. But the weapons were good, and I did manage to find rods, and I'm not the biggest fan of using rods, but if I find them, I'm definitely going to use them because they help a ton.
Yeah, I do know there has been, like, we'd always, a while back, we were talking about, like, okay, maybe do we want to decide if we want to add the no breakable rods into the racing flag set or not? Because it is kind of divided. Some people feel like, yeah, it kind of just makes it a little too easy to get through some stuff, but other people are like, oh, yeah, but it also helps make seeds a lot more manageable and quicker because you can find them, and they're normally pretty reasonably priced.
That is true. I think I'd be a fan of turning them off, to be honest, but if I'm in a race and I find them, they're getting used. same thing for Ultima. If I find Ultima and I'm in a race, I absolutely am definitely using it because I know everybody else is probably doing it, so like I'm kind of stuck in that regard.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, and you were right, there was not a lot of high level like magic found in this. A lot of people have kind of been doing the same strat where it's just going to be beating the clown to death with a sword. I think the only people who found some high level magic was the people who actually decursed the curse shield. So they have some Ultima. And I do believe there was one Esper somewhere that had Ultima at 1x, but it was not like one of the. It was kind of a more unconventional check, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought, I think it was 18 battles for Crucio, and I was like, no, I'm not dealing with that all that negativity for 18 battles. So we're just gonna move on from this.
Yeah, well, the people who did decurse it, what they actually did is they went to the Burning House, because on the Burning House it was just some gloom shells and then some peepers. So you're just able to get in the spam those really quickly to get your 18 fights done, especially because the peepers kill themselves. So, but yeah, that's what a lot of them did.
That must have been a good find. So in general, I hate Stragos checks, and I'm not doing them if I can avoid them at all possible.
I'm right with you, man.
Nope. It's not happening. And the game gave me a bunch of characters in the beginning, so I was like, old man, you're not seeing daylight today. You're just going away.
Yeah, this seed really started off kind of pretty narrow with the checks, because I mean, Locke doesn't always have the greatest checks. And Gogo obviously only had the one, but it kind of worked out that you found a lot of characters really quick.
Yes, that worked out really good. I was getting a little nervous because if you get too many free checks in a row in the beginning, I mean, every time you do a check and you find a character, the enemies get stronger, and if you find the Esper, they get stronger. So I think by the time I fought a boss, they must have been at like level 14 or 16 or something. I'm like, I really hope I could beat these guys.
Yeah, I think we kind of got a little bit lucky with the progression. So it looks like Dark Falls is going to be actually is now in go mode, so he should be going on his way to the tower. And actually, it looks like we might try to get an interview with Drulith as well, because you and him were like neck to neck as well for most of it. I mean, you both were going into the Kefka fight at almost the exact same time. You just pulled away a little bit in phase 2 quicker than he was able to.
Wow. Oh, I definitely have to watch the VOD of this then. Well, in that case, let me step out and so you guys get Drew in, and I'll watch the rest of it then.
Awesome, yeah. Yep, GG's. We'll look forward to. Are you going to be racing next week for the Rotor's Relish, or?
Yes, I actually have it planned out.
Awesome.
For next week, maybe I'll make some adjustments, but no, I'm ready for it.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Alrighty, thank you. Take care, guys.
You too.
Good night.
All right, so let's go ahead and get Drew in here. We can talk to him a little bit and see how he felt about the seed. Hello, Drew. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
Sorry about the Kefka's Tower run. That was definitely kind of some hard knocks there.
Yeah, it's my fault. This, I mean, what it comes down to is I made 2 mistakes, right? Well, okay, one of it was just bad luck. I lost 5 minutes to not saving and getting wiped out by Doomgaze. That hurt a lot. And then my second mistake was, despite that happening, I still tried to go for a sub 130. I wasn't prepared, clearly. I thought maybe, with the Ragnaroks and the Illumina, it'd be enough just damage, but it just wasn't quite there. And, I was thinking before going into Kefka's Tower, like, oh, maybe I should fight some dragons, but if I do, I give up sub 130. So I don't know. I guess I just made the wrong call there. I should have just went for a safer run.
Well, sometimes you got to chase the dream, man.
Yeah. The sad thing is, even if I would have beat Kefka, it wouldn't have been sub 130.
That's fine. You and Zolf were actually neck to neck, all the way going into the Kefka's Tower fight and going into the phase 2 as well. I think he was just able to pull away a little bit faster in the phase 2. I think he still had some more rods saved up and was really cracking a lot of those to get through, kind of really pump out that damage pretty quick.
Yeah, that was another thing. If I wanted to be safer, I could have stopped and grabbed more rods. I had the money for it. But I was just like, nah, I probably don't need them, but I did.
So kind of on that, in the racing flags, would you prefer to see like no break? Because one of the flags we do have an option is no breakable rods, and I do know the community is kind of split on it. Some people would like to see no breakable rods as the standard, and some people prefer having breakable rods just because it allows seeds to go generally a little bit quicker and it kind of help you get through some easier bosses. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, here are my thoughts on it. I think that it's just going to increase the skill gap a lot because players who are good with rods generally are just really good players in general, and they're gonna like still do well. But it's gonna be even harder for the players who sort of aren't as good, but still need to use them to get by. But a lot of players don't even do that in the first place, who are newer. But
I would definitely say maybe for the Battle Royale finals, you can definitely turn off rods. That's going to be a treat for those people.
So that's a nice twist. But I don't know, Battle Royale seeds, they're so long and like there's so many requirements that you have to get in the KT that you end up like level 40 plus anyways. And at that point, that's like where the rods really fall off, It's like around level 40 when you have other means of doing damage without the animations being as long.
Yeah, another thing that we found that was very interesting that both you and Zelfer tried to do on Kefka himself is you were both trying to steal the Mega Elixir off of Kefka, and I think kind of the insane thing is Zelfer actually got it first attempt. Like he tried one time to steal, and he got the Mega Elixir the first time. And we were just like, that's insane, because we were over here watching like 2 or 3 attempts and could not steal anything off of him.
Well, first of all, it wasn't... Okay, so my lock was level 5. It's based on level. It's like I wasn't going to get it. I was like, it was just like a pipe dream. I'm sure that if Zelfer took lock through the seed with them, that makes a little bit more sense.
I believe he did. I think lock was one of his 4.
It's still rare, though.
Yeah, it's still not something you want to gamble on at all. The other question I asked Zelfer, and I've kind of been asking everybody, so with Gogo being one of the 4 starting characters, what are your feelings as Gogo as a character, just as you level in general? Because I know a lot of people are starting to come around where he's actually not as bad as a lot of us thought he was, because he does fill in a lot of the gaps sometimes you'll get with within a randomizer seed. And other people are just like, oh, I'll try to replace Gogo as fast as I can, just because I'm not a fan that he can't hold an Esper or doesn't get like the stat progression from that.
Hot take. Gogo is the strongest character in this randomizer.
I like that take.
Should always be in the team, no matter what.
Well, you and Zelfer are both on that. Zelfer is like, unless he's like, I will champion that character. He's like, I will level him up, even if I get him a little bit later. And I think a lot of us are starting to come around to that too. He just has so much utility that he's not going to carry your team, but he's going to fill any gap that you need him to fill.
Well, one really unique thing he does is he saves money.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Let's say you find like 1 Super Ball early in the seed, right? You can just keep Mimic throwing that 1 Super Ball and beat something like a Goddess because it's only going to have like 8,000 HP early on in the seed. Where other runners who maybe didn't go that route, like they're just going to get walled by the Goddess and go somewhere else. But no, if you use Gogo right, anything's possible. Save money on rods by mimicking them.
What's better than 10 rods? 20 rods.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's funny. It is kind of. I'm glad to see a lot of people are starting to be like, yeah, he's actually a lot better. Unfortunately, poor Umaru and poor Gogo and Strago are always going to be like, okay, unless you're one of my starting 4, I'm not going to bring you with me. Like in this case, we did have Strago who had Big Guard, which is probably one of the, outside of Grand Train, probably one of the best ones we can find on him. But even then, it's the old man sometimes just doesn't cut as much as we'd like.
Yeah, I was really hoping he had some sort of offense on him.
So on that, so like we did see Hedon as one of the bosses in there. I don't know if you ran into him, but one of the things we were discussing is like, okay, in that scenario where he has Grand Train, is it better just Phoenix down Hedon, kill him right away, or is it possibly a strategy to wait for the Grand Train to come out to actually learn it on your Strago so you can take him all the way to the end?
Well, where was the Hedon?
Trying to remember where he was. He was. Let me look at our tracking sheet to see if he is listed on here. It was someplace that a lot of people did check. He was at. I have it listed as Mobley's too, but I don't think that's correct. He was at Owzer's Mansion.
Oh, so Realm was in this seed. Oh yeah, I must have took a different route. Okay, in Owzer's. Well, I mean, if you have Strago in the party and you have like 800 HP or so, especially with Big Guard, yeah, I just 100% kill all the Hidden Knights, get that Grand Train. As far as if you want to like leave the tower, make an adjustment to your team, put Strago in instead of another character, nah, I don't think it's worth all that trouble.
But if he was like one of your starting 2 or starting 4, you might look at it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like, it's a matter of can you tank that Grand Train or not?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can, I don't really see a reason not to pick up Grand Train unless you already have Ultima or like you're good on rods and like you plan on just using those.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a useful spell. I mean, it ignores defense, and that's really valuable in this game.
Yeah, no, it was definitely one of those things where we saw it and we're like, oh, I'm wondering if that is actually the right play to make there. So, but I guess like I said, you kind of had a rough time with Kefka, but what were your feelings just overall about this seed?
Well, it wasn't just Kefka. I had pretty bad luck all throughout. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the Luminas and the Ragnaroks were nice, but it was also like the seed gave you rods, and I'm pretty sure like a lot of people were gonna find them into Zen with Sabin being a thing really early, because everybody's gonna go to that collapsing house probably. And the rods were out damaging the Ragnaroks and the Luminas pretty much every fight you went to. Defensively, nothing great really. Elemental shields, I didn't really find any. Spells wise, horrible. Like I didn't have Q3, I didn't have like anything good. And when I finally got some decent stuff, it was all at the end when I didn't have any magic points left to really level them up. Like the Life 2 I didn't really get to use, but that would have been pretty handy.
Yeah, everybody kind of said the same thing. There was not a lot of good magic in this seed.
And other than that, like, I mean, the bosses themselves, they weren't hard to get past. They just felt like, I didn't have like a quick kill on any of them. It's like it took a lot of turns. Just kind of one of those seeds that drag on. And I was surprised at the pace I was on. And I was like, if I could pull this off, it'll be a good time. And I'm glad Zelfir was able to pull it off and get a good time. But maybe he had some better luck than I did. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and watch.
Yeah, he definitely, there was some things that kind of did break his way, so.
Yeah, I think the only real huge decision was that he took a dragon before going into Kefka's tower. Just pick up a couple levels.
But man, if I don't save and encounter Doomgaze at a level divisible by 5 ever again, like it's happened to me 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I just want to know, anybody who plays this game in the chat, does this happen to you? It happens to me like weekly. And I save a lot. It's just the one time I forget or think I don't need to. Boom, Doomgaze. Level 5 Doom. Everybody's divisible by 5 because why wouldn't they be? It's like a 1 in 5 chance. So.
Well, you are getting a lot of people. Zelfir is saying all the time. Malceros is also saying all the time. Mr. E is saying it usually kills half my party. So yeah, finding Doomgaze is just that bad time moment.
Yeah. It is what it is. But I don't really think we should get rid of the opening level 5 Doom.
Yeah.
But I mean...
Randomize the number.
As long as it's random, from 2 to 10, so that it can actually work out in your favor. And it can't be 1, obviously.
Yeah, just divisible by 1 wipes the party every time.
Yeah. I mean, sure, you could use instant dex protection, but then it's the same thing as the Magi Master Ultima argument, where it's well, you had to have the specific thing at the specific time.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 to 10 could be interesting, or 3 to 10.
It would be interesting. Somebody brought this. Zelfir did kind of this, so he'll still know the number, because I just know what would happen, Drew, is that you would run into him. He would do random times, whatever number just happens to line up with most of your team, and then we'd be talking with you next time one of these, and you're like, it happens every time.
Well, yeah, I mean, it'd be level 10 Doom, and I'd still get hit by it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's just like it's like the odds of this happening. But it looks like we got both Dark Falls and Nidorific making the kind of the last couple of boss checks. And it was glad to see that we had Nidorific getting up there too, and being not too far behind Dark Falls. So I'm glad to see one of our newer runners is keeping pretty good pace too. Drew, I did have a question. Are you going to be doing the Router's Relish next week? If you have time.
I do. Well, I originally wasn't. I'm on call right now.
Oh.
And I wasn't going to run the Router's Relish because I knew I was going to be on call today. I mean, I
Okay.
decided to race today because it's like, well, if I get called in, I'll just FF.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll just pause my timer, and then maybe I'll have an official and an unofficial time and, like, whatever. But
Yeah.
now I'm not on call next week, so I mean, I might as well, right?
Yeah, they're giving you that extra week to plan out your route and everything.
Yeah, maybe someone wants to send me their route as a starting point. It's just like a little friendly, competitive gesture,
Yeah, I think Boo's been working on it. You can reach out to him. I think he might have it.
Maybe give you where that Doomgaze is on that seed.
Oh yeah, definitely gonna stay away from that.
I don't care where the boss is. Just tell me anything about where Doomgaze is, and I'll avoid it. So it looks like we've got Dark Falls about to start his Kefka fight. So he'll be making pretty good time on that, and Nidorific not too far behind. He just needs to finish up Senior Behemoth.
Well, it's been swell, guys. I think I'm gonna head out though and watch the rest of the race in the chat.
Sounds good, and it was great talking with you, Drew.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
for restreaming and everything, and had a great time. So, yeah, have a good one.
Yep,
All
we'll
right.
look forward to seeing you next week.
Have a good night, man.
Alright, so let's see how Dark Falls can go into this. Now, I think he probably is a little bit higher level than most of the other runners were, just because he did do a few extra checks. So this is probably going to be a little bit of an easier fight for him. What is interesting, though, is he took Realm all the way into this fight, where I don't think any of the other runners has done that so far.
Yeah, he's got I mean, Realm is pretty much the only difference, but she's very powerful with magic. Interesting that it's not a very powerful magic seed. But we'll see what she's got. Oh, she's got Ultima.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, she does have Ultima, because he would have found that off of the Paladin shield. So between a Mimic, Ultima, and Realm, who's the highest caster, casting it, we definitely it's going to be pretty easy for him.
Yeah,
and then-
Nidorific just got to finish up this Atma weapon fight, and then he should be on to Kefka's climb as well.
Yep, I was gonna say he should be doing pretty good. Oh, accidentally gets a wrong input on his Sabin, but it looks like Sabin was just his random extra character, probably to hold the charm.
See, we got yeah, this Dark Falls should be making pretty quick work as long as he doesn't get any nasty counters.
Yeah, between Quadra Slam and Ultima being double cast, he should have no time with this. Yep, there it is. We're just gonna spam Ultima. The best way to get through Kefka's tower.
Yeah, just turn it blue, turn the screen blue over and over again.
Yeah, just kind of reading the chat. I would say for anybody who does want to kind of get on this race, but is kind of nervous about being on stream, you can specifically ask not to be restreamed as well. So don't worry too much about, oh, I don't want to see people doing how I'm doing on stream. If the kind of real-time race is what I'll call it, where we're all kind of on the same thing, is something you're really interested in, just hop in, join. You can forfeit out at any time. You can take as long as you'd like on it. And if you don't feel comfortable being on the restream, just tell us. That way you don't have to worry about people watching your play. You can take as long as on the seat as you'd like, just kind of learn everything. So I would never say letting the restream be something that stops you from joining our weekly races as well.
Yeah.
Looks like we've got a old man who turned into a Kappa. Should be taking pretty good turn of this. or a pretty quick time of this.
Yeah, he already got the jumping guy down, and Ultima's just going to take care of the rest of the seed, so not much to report on this end. I do want to take this time to thank Mr. Entity and Franklin for, restreaming and tracking.
Yeah, we always are appreciative of our restreamers. It's definitely almost in any community, be it a randomizer community or any other kind of community like this, or the restreamers are really the true heroes. They're willing to just constantly get on and do these restreams because it definitely takes a little bit of learning how to do it. There's definitely some things you gotta kind of learn how to fix up, but once you get it going, it helps everybody out because it allows more people to be able to race, because some people aren't having to restream all the time. So if you ever are wanting to get into kind of doing the restreamer things, like maybe you don't feel comfortable racing but would still like to help out the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide community, we're always looking for people to help out with tracking. We're always looking for people to help out with comms. We're always looking for people to help out with restreaming. So there is other ways you can help this community, even if it's not racing itself.
Alright, Dark Fowls is going to put up Fenrir.
I'm surprised he's doing that. It's a little bit early, because does it reset when you go from phase to phase, like your Esper usage?
Oh man, I want to say it does, but I mean, don't quote me on that. Obviously, I've been wrong enough this seed already. But I mean,
think
maybe he has a different strategy for phase 3.
Maybe, but or maybe it does reset. I mean, I think the resetting would be the more possibly like logical option.
No, definitely he won't be able to use that Esper again. I think that is. Now, whether the images carry on to the next phase, I think they do, but I don't believe he gets to use Fenrir again.
Chat is saying that he has Golem as well, though, so he might be using Fenrir here, and then he'll use Golem on phase 2.
All right.
And
I would have probably switched those around, as Golem helps you with 10 hits a little bit better, but I mean, at this point in time, like I said, it's not going to be that much of a difference.
And Nidorific gets through phase 1 fairly quickly, so Dark Falls and Nidorific are kind of back to back. I think Dark Falls is a little bit ahead of him. He should be going on to phase 3 pretty soon. But it is surprising how quick this is close this has become.
Yeah. And Nidorific has a bunch of just excellent equipment as well.
Yeah, I know for sure he has Gem Box Ultima, because I did see him pick up the Gem Box, and he should have the Ultima, so that should make doing these fights a lot quicker. And there we can see he's double casting Ultima, which will really possibly catch him up to Dark Falls, so this should be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with two people casting 3 copies of Ultima, then and Go to mimic him, that's like 4 Ultimas a round.
Yeah. That's a quick way to get a Kefka Tower down quick. Especially because they're hitting for like 6,000 a pop. He's got some really high levels on his characters. Yeah, this is going to be a quick run. There's 2 Ultimas for 8,000. Locke's casting Ultima.
And, I mean, his characters are hasted. I mean, I know haste is not that great in 6, but, I mean, it's still an improvement.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, some of the spells that like you see that are really popular in other Final Fantasy randomizers that aren't as popular here. So like obviously in Free Enterprise, like Slow and Haste and Berserk are really good. We don't really use any of those. And 5, I believe, Haste and Berserk are really popular. We don't use any of those. So it's kind of interesting to see how different 6s is from some of the other randomizers that we have out there.
Yep.
And to Chad's point, Palador can be used to avoid the calmness, but it takes a lot more timing to be able to use it. But yeah, you can if you can time it right, just right, you can jump. But yeah, see here, Nidorific's already done with phase 2, moving on to phase 3. So this could be really close.
Yeah. We got a train going off on Dark Fowls. He does not have Sabin to mantra his way out of that, so oh, but it looks like he might have some ribbons, actually. Oh, we got Calmness coming down and Golem blocking it.
And there's the Grand Train going down, only hitting one person. or I'm sorry, the Southern Cross. That wasn't Grand Train. And Dark is onto the Clown himself. So it looks like he'll be just a little bit ahead, but those 4 Ultimas a turn could really still keep him, keep Nidoriffic on pace.
Yeah, and obviously Dark Files has some really, really good levels, but Kefka is still challenging. You get the wrong turn order, you get a hyperactive counter Kefka, and it'll go off the rails.
Yeah, Kefka is one of those bosses that regardless of how leveled up you think you are, bad things can happen very quickly on a Kefka fight. It looks like he's got, Dark Falls has his elixirs for the Fallen One, so that should make that a little bit easier. It looks like he's just going to use them. I was wondering if he was going to use Go-Go to mimic, but that really wouldn't be too useful right there. Looks like he's just going to elixir everybody up. Now, I don't know if Nidoriffic has his Fenrir or Golem. Or if he's just going to power through it, because even if 2 characters drop, you still get like 4 Ultimas off at a time.
If you take Realm and Go-Go into the Kefka fight, you might not care if you get called missed.
It doesn't look like he did. Yeah, Lock drops, but he doesn't care. His Drago and his Realm and his Go-Go are going to just Ultima through this.
We have 2 Kefkas on screen, and this is going to be quite the finish.
Yep. And for how much some of the detouring that these both did, they are still have both a great time for this seed, just a little over 2 hours.
Yeah.
There goes that Grand Train.
2 hours and 10 minutes is a respectable time.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. That's normally kind of about what I average. I haven't been having a chance to practice as much as I normally do, so I'm probably even slower than that now. I got to get back on the training wagon, but it's still a great time. I mean, anything 2:30, I'd feel very happy with.
Yeah. And Nidoriffic opens up with his rounds of Ultima.
Goes down to a Havoc Wing, which is not what you want to see, but he looks like he's going to be able to Phoenix down him up. And there's those Ultimas going off for Nidoriffic.
Yeah, I think Nidoriffic's just gonna man mode this and just be casting, and we'll see if Dark Fowls' decision to use elixirs might make this closer than he thought.
Yeah, Nidoriffic might not even see a goner. Like with how much he's doing with those Grand Trains and with this fixed dice offering. There's a hyperdrive. We'll have to see who this hits. Go-Go, I think he's pretty okay with it. I realistically think he's just using Realm and Strago at this point.
Yeah. And 2 goners at the same time.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, that Strago and Realm are going to get through it just fine.
Hitting quad 9s. Fowls using... Ooh, Fowls is going to see the goner.
I think everybody except for that Go-Go should be fine.
GG Nidoriffic coming in third.
That is impressive. Those There's GG for Dark
Yeah.
Falls too, so great times for both of them.
Yeah, good game, Dark Falls as well.
See if Dark Falls would also like to come in for an interview. We can have them both in as well.
And
All right, so it looks like we'll
again-
do.
Oh,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, it looks like we'll do a quick interview, or we'll do an interview with Nito, and then we'll get Dark Falls in afterwards. So let me go ahead and bring them in. GG's Nito-rific, congratulations.
GG, man.
Thank you.
So, how was? Tell us what you thought about this seed.
Actually, I've played so many seeds; they're all kind of jumbled in my head. But I got Strigo early. That's right, and that led to Ultima. I think. Was that something else?
No, well-
This one, I think the Ultima would have came from either the Curse Shield, or which we did see you grind through that one, or also there was an Esper, I believe, that gave the Ultima. I'm not
Yeah.
sure which Esper it was though.
Yeah, I remember now. Okay. Do I have to have a ribbon equipped at the same time, or is that just in vanilla?
It's a good idea to have a ribbon equipped.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you
If
don't
you do have a ribbon, it
necessarily have
ignores
to.
a lot of it. But what I noticed Dark Falls did for the Curse Shield was he went to the Burning House where he had those pretty easy fights there, and used those to grind through the 18 battles that you had to do.
Yeah, I did that as well. I equipped a ribbon midway, thinking, "Whoops, maybe I need a ribbon at the same time." But yeah,
So we also noticed, like you, kind of like everyone else, Gogo was one of the starting characters, but it sounds like you've been doing quite a few seeds. Do you personally like Gogo as a character as well for your teams, or is he just, hey, he's one of my starting four, so I just kept with him?
well, as long as he's not paired with Yumaro at the start. But no, I like him at the start because you can just mimic rod breakings, and later some spells like early Ultima, you can just cast it for free. And then after that point, it was just inertia, and he stayed in my party because of inertia. He was already all leveled up and stuff. So, and he was the only one that could equip fixed dice in my party, I think. So,
Yep. And then we also noticed that you found the gem box about halfway through the seed, and with the Ultima, that really powered you through Kefka.
yeah, that was. I could have gone much earlier, but I'm still very new at this. I can't really gauge when I feel confident enough to go to Kefka's Tower. But with the gem bugs on Realm, and she was already doing 999 every. But with the gem bugs on Realm,
Yeah, we definitely noticed you were one of the. I mean, we're always glad to see the new runners in here, and you put up a very respectable time. I mean, I probably would not have put up a better time myself, and you were up there with Dark Falls. So, for being a new runner, you had a great performance here.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Japan, did you have any questions for Nito-rific?
No. I was just going to congratulate him. He took a very different route than most of the other runners and still ended up with an excellent time. So it just goes to show, you can have different strategies, different ways of going about the seeds. It's pretty interesting.
That's what kind of attracted me to this FF6 randomizer, because I wanted for a long time free Enterprise, but or Final Fantasy VI, and this pretty much feels like it.
Good.
Yeah,
good to hear it.
there's one thing we've kind of talked about that a lot of people seem to like about with how character gating works is that you could have two people who almost never had some of the same checks, but still get to Kefka about the same time and have completely different parties. There's not like hunting for that last go mode item that a lot of people seem to like.
Yeah, it's a really fun randomizer. I'm glad I found it.
Yeah, so anything else that you want to bring up while we have you in the interview?
No, that's pretty much it. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And it sounds like you were also going to be with us next week for the Router's Relish as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been grinding that seed a bit.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing you then. Hopefully you'll put up another great time like you did today.
For sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Have a great rest of your evening.
Good
You
night,
too.
man.
All right. So that was Nito-rific, our third place runner. And then let's go ahead and get Dark Falls in here. I'll bring him in here and we'll talk to him, see how he feels about the seed. Hey, Dark Falls, GG.
Thank you. How you guys doing?
Doing
We're
good.
doing
How about
good.
yourself?
I would have been happy if I didn't get trained 100 million times.
Yeah,
I was mentioning that. I was like, man, that animation is so long.
yeah, it definitely eats up time.
I was doing the hardcore eye roll. It just wouldn't stop doing train on me.
We could definitely tell. So, how did you feel about the seat overall?
It really wasn't that bad. I found some dead checks, but I really didn't run into too many issues. Running into Poltergeist kind of was annoying, but then I remember he gets stopped, so I used that on him a couple times. So I got through that.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things that we brought up and we had to think about. We were like, wait, can the spicy chicken actually be stopped? And someone was like, yeah, he's actually stoppable. And we're like, oh, did not know that.
Yeah, it's one of the nice things if you have the reflect ring on. He can stop himself, which is nice. But thankfully, I remember that my Strago had it, so yeah, I was able to use that a little bit.
Yeah, it's always fun to see some of those like strategies that a lot of people forget about. Like, oh yeah, you can actually do that. Or like one of the things that we saw Zelfer do is he was using Sabin's mantra to actually help like clear off some of the clear off some of the train stuff, all the statuses. So we're seeing more and more kind of like fun and innovative kind of new strategies that we've not seen for a little bit.
In hindsight, I should have moved the ribbon from Cyan to Strago. Because that way I could have had Strago, Cyan, and Realm. Realm, Strago, and Go-Go. Use Ultima still, but I completely forgot to move it over.
Yeah, so speaking of Go-Go, I've actually asked this of every runner that we've interviewed today. So it seems like Go-Go is becoming more and more of a popular character to have people on people's teams. Just because if you can fill quite a few things, will you generally stick, like if you find Go-Go later on, will you stick with him, or is it really for you only if he's like one of your starting four, will you level him up?
Depends on who else I have. If I have like Gao or Amar or Mog, I'll swap him for Go-Go. Just because Go-Go can be such a good utility character.
Mm-hmm. But if you find him, like if you've already got like a Celeste, Terra, and like Sabin, and let's just say like a Strago in this case, or I'm trying to think of, or like a Shadow, is he kind of relegated into the background?
Yeah, I mean, he's basically just utility at that point. If you have someone who can actually do damage with the long run, you're going to stick with them. But he's a really, really, well, I should say, is a very good utility character. So if you get him early, it's definitely helpful. But if you get him late, it kind of loses its luster, especially if you have other powerful characters already leveled up.
Yeah, for sure. And we also noticed this seat had a lot of like high-powered equipment, but almost like no magic present at all.
Yeah, I actually really didn't find a ton for equipment. I found the Minerva, I found the Illumina, but I found the Illumina really late. I liked having the Fenrir and Golem, so I was able to use it twice, once on stage 2 and once on stage 3 to block both 10 hits and Calmness.
Yeah, if you go back and watch the VOD, you'll see some pretty surprised reactions when you use Fenrir in stage 2. We were like, what is going on here? But we did not know you had the Golem.
Yep.
Yeah, that was planned out because I saw how like squishy my guys were, and I was kind of worried about 10 hits. So I figured I can use Fenrir to block 10 hits, use Golem to block the Calmness, and that was good. And
we noticed the other thing that you strategy used that we were actually really liked was that when you went to the burning house and found that it was pretty easy fights. It seemed like that was a really good place to grind up your curse shield as well.
Yeah, I mean, I had the early ribbons, and I figured I might as well, because that kind of gave me the Paladin shield. Because when you have it like in the first 5 minutes, you're going to have 18 fights regardless, and you have a ribbon right away also, so it just makes sense to just stick it on and just run with it.
Yep. So since we probably should start looking to wrap it up, Darkfalls, you are going to be in the Riders Relish as well next week, correct?
I'll probably be either in the commentary booth or a restream. I probably won't run it myself. I'd probably want to plan it out. I do have one more question for you guys. Did you like how I cleaved myself by accident? Well, not really by accident, but...
See, I didn't catch it, so if you didn't bring it up, I probably would not have known you'd done that.
That is going to be something I will relish watching in the VOD, I see.
Yeah, we must have both missed it then.
Gogo got confused, and he cleaved me.
Oh, fun times. Good old Go-Go. Well, Darkfalls, did you have anything else you wanted to bring up on your end before we close out the stream tonight?
Nope, that's it. Thanks, guys, for the commentary. Thank you to Mr. Andy for the restream, and the other 3 runners for racing with me. It was always a pleasure. Have a great night, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Darkfalls. All right, Japan Maniacs, so let's go ahead and get this thing closed out. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight for another weekly community race. Like we've mentioned multiple times, please join us if you're interested in joining either the restreaming, the tracking, the commentating team. If you want to learn the race, there's always plenty of people who are more than willing to show you how to run this game, provide you with any info that you need, answer any questions.
Yeah. One last time, shout out to Mr. Entity, shout out to Franklin for tracking and restreaming. Thank you very much for joining me, Classy.
Anytime,
It was
and
a
thank you for joining
fun-
me, Japan.
Yeah. Great.
All right, have a
great
good
night.
evening, everybody.
Have a good night, guys. Oh, and thank you, Atma. I'm not sure if it's still getting picked up, but yeah, thank you, Atma.
Yeah, I think we forgot to do that one again. But as always, thank you, Atmatech, for creating this excellent randomizer.
Random level 5 Doom numbers or whatever.